goes wild. Yeah. Good evening and welcome to Jazzy Jamdemic. This is a program coming to you 6 nights a week for 6 weeks. And the sponsors for this wonderful program would be the Jazz District Renaissance Corporation and the Missouri Department of Tourism. Other partners include the American Jazz Museum and several other partners that make this possible. My name is Gerald Dunn. I'm the artistic director for this musical series, and I tell you, it's indeed a pleasure to bring to you some of Kansas City's most prominent musicians, and tonight is no exception. There have been so many things going on in the world, and we'd like to take a pause right now for Mr. George Floyd and many others that have suffered due to racial injustices in this country. And we'd like to let you know that we stand in solidarity for you. Kansas City has been known to be a hotbed for entertainment. Goes all the way back to the big band era, the 20s to 30s. And as you know, this is where music grew up, right here in Kansas City. And you're going to get a chance to experience this each night, bringing you some great music being streamed live here at the Gym Theater. And we hope that this music brings relief to many of you that are watching tonight. And if you haven't already, help us spread the word to get this streaming out to many more people. And I tell you what, I think you're going to enjoy tonight's program. Grab your favorite drink, your dance partner, or just sit back and relax, kick your shoes off, and enjoy the program today. We have none other than the great Mr. Lonnie McFadden. Put your hands together.
Welcome to happy hour. Lock the doors and stop complaining. Gather round and listen well. From now on we're entertaining. How to hotten up this hell. Hold the food and hold the chatter. Skip the mood and stop the clatter. Can't you hear that pitter-patter? We're not here to eat. We came for the heat. Let's raise the roof. Let's make a scene. Let's hope the gods of love will shine above and show me the way. Let's call the shots. Let's roll the dice. Take my advice. It always pays to raise the roof. Crush the ice and shake forever. Tell the evening where to go. If you need a new endeavor, well, I can teach you what I know. Grab your partner by the collar. Grab the bar girl with $1. Just ignite that mighty hop and lead me to the trough. Until the lights go off, let's raise the roof. Let's make a scene. Let's hope the gods of love will shine above. Show me the way, let's call the shot. Let's roll the dice. Take my advice. It always pays to raise the roof. Welcome to our tower, baby. Learn the language, come what may. Spare me how the wind is blowing. Just keep that whiskey flowing. You might reap what you've been sowing, but if you walk the plank, you got me to thank. Let's raise the roof. Oh, let's make a scene. Let's hope the gods of love shine above and show me the way. Let's call the shot. Let's roll the dice. Time for playing nice is done. Before the big hand hits the one, we're gonna do what must be done. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. The roof. Yeah, baby. Woo! Oh, I needed this. I needed this. I needed this. Thank you, all 7 of you. This is awesome. It's awesome. I hope you all having fun at home. This is so necessary. I mean, there's so much going on now. But I tell you what, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for 1 hour Happy hour, happy hour. That's why I'm here. I'm here for 1 hour of happiness. I'm here to give you a relief from all of the stuff that's going on. And right now I'd like to go into a song that is my go-to. Whenever I have a moment, I temporarily forget how wonderful things are, because in the midst of everything, still a lot of beauty. And whenever I temporarily forget that, I tell Alexa to put this one on. A time for summer skies, for hummingbirds and butterflies, for tender words that harmonize with love. A time for climbing hills, for leaning out of window sills, admiring the daffodils above. A time for holding hands together, a time for rainbow-colored weather, a time for make-believe that we've been dreaming of. And as time goes drifting by on the willow bends, and so will I. But oh, my friend, whatever skies above, I've known a time for spring, a time for fall, but most of all, time for love. This is the first time we've been able to play together in over 6 weeks. This is Andrew Willett. Oh, a time for love together, a time for rainbow-colored weather. It's a time for make-believe that we've been dreaming of. There's always time for love. As time goes drifting by on the willow bends, so will I. But oh, my friends, whatever skies above, I'm glad I've known a time for spring, I've known a time for fall, but most of all, time for love. I've known a time for love. I've known a time for love. It's always time for love. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we're keeping it Kansas City tonight. I'll be the first to admit, it's not. I'm very unapologetic about the fact that I'm from Kansas City. This is where I was born and raised. This is where I've spent most of my time. This is where I learned about music, period. And right now, I'd like to go back to the beginnings of Kansas City jazz. We're talking about before Charlie Parker, Mary Lou Williams. We're talking about before Count Basie. Oh yeah, I'm going back to the grandfather of Kansas City jazz now. Talking about the guy that Count Basie first made a name for himself here in Kansas City with. Before he started his own orchestra, he used to play with a gentleman named Benny Moten. So we're going back to the basics. This is the Moten Swing. Zach Beeson on bass. Yes. Oh boy, Kansas City jazz. Now I grew up around here with, and I'll talk more about it later, but my dad had me listening to all this stuff at a very early age, and it's because of his background. See, my dad used to perform at this place originally. My dad performed at the Reno Club, and well, we'll get into all of that later. But he used to perform at these places with a gentleman that just took the Kansas City style to the next limit, to the outer limits. Actually, to this day, in my opinion, which I respect, there's nothing on this planet that swings as hard as Count Basie. And since I am of that opinion, and I've been listening to him my entire life, so much and so that when we finally put out a CD, I wrote a song about how I feel about him. It goes like this. Well, this morning the strangest thing happened to me. It was an obvious case of mistaken identity. See, a man came up to me, looked about as big as a house. He thought I was the guy he saw with his spouse. I knew right away if I don't want to be beat, I better swing like Count Basie in the middle of the street. I begin to swing just like Basie. Swing low, come on. I begin to swing just like Basie, 'cause it feels so good inside. One last thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet. Now, when I was raising children, I would take them to the park. I told them we can stay here till it starts to get dark, where they'd run all around and have tons of fun. But every single day till the day was done, they sit on that chair with the chains going high, and they would swing like Basie. Trying to touch the sky, they like to swing just like Basie. Swing low, let me ride. They wanna swing just like Basie. It feels so good inside. One last thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be okay. Well, let's talk about music, since that's what I do. I love R&B and the new jazz too. Well, now I'm from Kansas City, so I just gotta say, I think it's been embedded in my DNA. If I pick up my horn and I wanna sound good, I try to swing like Count Basie. Back in the hood, I wanna swing just like Basie. Swing low and let me ride. I wanna swing just like Basie. It feels so good inside. One last thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet. Gotta swing. to swing just like Basie. It feels so good inside. One last thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet. Swing like Basie. Thank you. I have to say, I've kind of overlooked a couple of things. The first thing is I want to make sure you understand who these musicians are. I'm going to let them stretch in about 2 or 3 songs. First of all, I'd like to say that, like I said, this gentleman on the piano, we haven't had a chance to perform together in about 6 weeks, and he's been hanging out with me off and on for the last, 10, 11 years now. Yeah, ever since he was a kid at UMKC. On piano, I could not be happier than to be able to say that on piano, we got Andrew Boulette. Same situation with this gentleman here, except we've been able to play a couple of times together. But I met him when he was a student at UMKC. These guys have grown into the A-list musicians here in Kansas City, on bass, on electric bass, and upright. This is Zach Beeson. Yeah. Now, the newest member of my little entourage, and I say that, when I say newest, I mean we've only been playing together about 3.5 years now. But I've known him since he was about 14 years old. He was good then. Come on, man. I had no idea we'd actually be playing together, though. None whatsoever. But when the drum chair opened up because of an unfortunate situation, I tried a lot of different drummers, but I don't know if it's because both of us kind of grew up in the same kind of environment. Mission Hills. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, on drums, Tyree Johnson. Now, the second thing that I've overlooked is, well, I didn't overlook it, I just hadn't got to it yet, is that the entire jazz world, I don't want you all to just think I'm just going to do Kansas City. I got to pay homage to certain people. I won't get a chance to pay homage to all of them, but I'd be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge Miles Davis. Miles. Oh, yeah. You know, there's so many things I could think of and so many directions I could go whenever I think of honoring Miles. But the biggest thing I think of is Miles, he never wanted to be stagnant. He always was at the cutting edge of changing the direction that the whole jazz community went in. So right now, we're gonna do a Miles Davis song. With a little Kansas City twist. In case you didn't know. Yo! See, we doing it cool, we doing it smooth, doing the groove that's making you move. We doing it cool. Yeah, we doing it cool, we doing it smooth, doing that groove that makes you move, and doing it cool. See, we playing it cool, laying it cool, staying it cool, keeping that groove real smooth. We play what we play, we hope that you stay to hear what we play when we play what we play. Cause hey, doing it cool. We doing it cool, we doing this groove, doing this smooth, and we keeping it cool. Yeah, we doing it cool, doing it smooth, playing the groove that's making you move, keeping it cool. See, we playing it cool, we laying it cool, we staying it cool, keeping the groove extra smooth. Oh yeah, we play it our way. We hope that you stay. Hope that you stay to hear what we play when we play what we play. Cause hey, doing it cool. We're doing it cool. Doing it cool. Real cool. For Miles. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, and I dress like this all the time. I'd like to do, you know, this is happy hour. And hour ain't happy if you don't add a little romance to the situation. I'd like to go into a song just because. I came in here with the theme being Kansas City, and I knew I was going to do something for Miles. This one is for everybody that's quarantined with somebody that you actually like being quarantined with. If you got that special connection. Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far, like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way and forevermore. that's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Andrew Willett. Unforgettable in every way and forevermore. That's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Happy hour. Romance. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I've got all of this firepower on the stage, and it would be unjust. It would be like I'm doing you all a disservice if I didn't give them a chance to show you what they're working with. And right now, I'd like to do that on a song that was actually written by a pianist. We haven't had a chance to play this together for a while, actually. But it's a song that I have missed playing because this one brings me to the new millennium. This is a song that when we got ready to do our CD, I asked everybody to submit a couple of songs. And when I looked at this one, I was like, oh my God. Now, to all the modern musicians, this is like the way they do it. But I'm over 30, and I had never played a song in 7/4 time. So this was my introduction to the new school. This is a song, as I said, written by Andrew Willett. He simply calls this one Voyager. Andrew Roulette. Zach Beeson on bass. Tyree Johnson on drums. Yes. Voyager by Andrew Willett. Yes. There's one song that is mandatory. In times like these, every now and then, we need a little reminder. It's light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean that. I can always see the hope. I can always see there's always some beauty there. And I know this, for some people right now, this is a stretch. Believe me, that's a challenge for me. But I know this is a song that we all grew up listening to and enjoying. And it became very special to me. In 2004, I had the honor to perform this for the young men and the young women that protect our wonderful country. I was on a tour over in Kuwait, Baghdad. We even went through Fallujah. It's a lot going on right now. But in spite of it all, I want to do this for everybody that every now and then might lose a little hope. That every now and then the noise gets to be too much. It's a song that I saw bring joy to the young men and young women that were putting it all on the line every single day. And ever since I performed this in a situation for all these kids that were facing life and death every day. I mean, we could actually hear bombs going off. And so, if I were to pick one song that I think we all need to be reminded of, it would be this one. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. You see, the colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky. They're also on the faces of all the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're only saying, I love you. I've seen babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn more than I'll ever know. But I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky. They're also on the faces of all the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? me sing I love you. I've seen babies cry, I've watched them grow. They'll learn more than I'll ever know. But I think to myself, right here today, this is such a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, I'm just going to do one thing before I go. Wait, no. If you all are ready for me, before they pull the hook on me, I'm going to put on my tap shoes. Like I said, I started off doing this at a very early age. This will be just like the Apollo Theater. If you see a big cook come out here while I'm doing this, this is tradition. See, my dad used to tap dance with Count Basie, Jay McShann. My dad even danced with Benny Moten. So I grew up hearing all these stories about 18th and Vine, about 12th Street, about Faye Terrell, Hot Lips Page, Lester Young, all these guys. So I'm not going to waste you with a whole lot of stories right now. I know the hook is ready. The hook is ready. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this before they pull me off. Hey, all of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Won't you take my lips? I wanna lose them. Take my arms, probably never use them. Now your goodbyes have left me with eyes that cry. Tell me, how can I go on living without you? You took the part that once was called my heart, so why not take all of me? Roulette piano. Zach Beeson on bass. Tyree Johnson on drum. And before we leave the stage, the man responsible for 18th and Vine turning back into 18th and Vine. I know what I'm talking about. I could not be more thankful than I am for this man's vision to help us embrace who we are. I know he's ready to pull me off, but he's a dear friend of mine, Reverend Cleaver, Mayor Cleaver, and now Congressman Cleaver. I'm messing up, I know. Appreciate you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, just think about this. You just had the opportunity to see at least one member of what I consider to be the most talented family in Kansas City. And we are all fortunate. And just think about this. You just had a chance to experience this great talent for 1 hour here at the Jazzy Jamdemic on 18th and Vine in the wonderful Gem Theater in this historic district. I'd like to also just point a little point of sadness. We had a death this past week of Darwin Curls, who was on the ground floor when we created the American Jazz Walk of Fame and would be involved today, but for an illness, and he died 2 days ago. He is the brother of former Senator Philip Curls, and his niece, Senator Kiki Curls, actually served in his seat. And so it's a bittersweet day, but whenever you get Lonnie McFadden and these fabulous musicians performing, it kind of pushes away all of the pain, even if it's for only a moment. We can look back at tomorrow, live in the day, and hope for a better day tomorrow. And it will be better. Things are going to get better. Unfortunately, for those of you who may or may not be at home or may not have been watching the news, a curfew has just been issued, an emergency curfew has just been issued, and it is at 8 o'clock tonight. So all people who are listening to us and enjoying this live streaming, we are asked to vacate the streets by 8 o'clock tonight. I think that protest is as American as baseball. Our country was born out of protest. The Boston Tea Party was not a get-together in somebody's dining room. It was an act of disobedience, of protest, and it helped give birth to the United States of America. However, one of the worst things that can happen is for us to do damage to the protests. And unfortunately, we have anarchists, based on my conversation today with police, who have come into the city for the sole purpose of creating chaos, trying their best to create a race war. But the good news is that on the plaza today, and I've been involved in civil rights since I was 15 years old down in Texas, and then ultimately with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, this was the most diverse crowd of protesters I have ever been around in my life. In fact, it may have been, as I said to the folk when I spoke, that we had white, black, and brown sitting on the ground all over. That's the good news. The bad news is that there are always some bad actors. And I reminded people today, Martin Luther King never started a protest at night. At night. Be a daylight protester, because what you're doing is constitutional and it's righteous. But somehow after the sun goes down, bad actors creep in. So embrace this music. It was good. And be here tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Tune in. And then beginning next Saturday, if you turn to Channel 2, you'll be able to see all of the week's programming. And we think that this is growing and growing and growing. Why is it growing? Because of talent like this. So God bless you, and keep on hoping. Lord,
Hey, Kansas City, here I come. Kansas City. Kansas City's where we're from. I know you guys got to turn it off, but I'm a grow. Crazy little women, gotta get you one. Where we be standing on the corner, out there on 18th and Vine.